So the FCA is coming around and asking you questions and inviting you to be part of their digital sandbox, which is super cool. In the US, you mentioned, since the new administration, we've seen lawsuits dropped against Coinbase, against Gemini.
Uniswap's just got dropped.
Okay, nice. Uniswap, Robinhood, and a few others, I think, which is really encouraging. How are you finding the regulation in the US at this point? I know it's still early, but where do you think it might go?
You know, when I started my journey in crypto, which was back in 2015, where it again was this very pirate-like industry, and then it became almost taboo, right, to work in it, especially as a U.S. person's, right? If you're
getting debanked and stuff.
Yeah, and if I go tell my traditional finance friends that I work in crypto, they're like, like I don't want to necessarily associate with you too. Then all of a sudden, it evolving to this place where it's becoming more widely accepted. I couldn't be more excited about that, right? Like as a U.S. person's, like I love doing global business. I love global people. I'm very much a globalist. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to bring that technology home. I want to be able to go home and hang out with my family, my parents, my friends, and to even have the opportunity to be able to do business in the U.S. is so exciting to me. And I do think that the SEC and the CFTC are starting to come around, and some of that is due to the new political administration in the executive branch, but some of that is also just the force of the consumer. The consumer is so important, and thank God that we live, in a society where that voice is heard and understood, and really helps shape a lot of policy.
I mean, I think it was all of the pro-crypto candidates got elected.
Yes.
At least that's what Stanford Crypto and these other lobbying groups said, and I think the Stanford Crypto and some of those other groups really showed how powerful they are, and I think people are scared of them in DC, and I like that.
Stand with Crypto is it's a beautiful organization, and their tactics were excellent, right? So Stand with Crypto.
Investment Club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.
They were sponsoring watch parties for all of the debates, and what they would do is they would give out, if you agreed to host a watch party, they would give you a $50 gift card for pizza, for California Pizza Kitchen or Domino's or whatever. So all of the people across the U.S. were having these like huge watch parties to especially the pro crypto folks who knew what Stand with Crypto was, which was I'm sure Coinbase was probably one of the main funders, but man, they got very creative with how they attracted the public's attention, and they did such a great job with it. Again, I hosted the watch parties, right? I didn't even care about the pizza. I was just like, hey guys, let's all come like actually learn about this and listen to it. And I don't even I live in Denver, right? But I don't live in a New York or Chicago or one of these main financial hubs, and I do go there quite often. But even being able to educate my friends, my neighbors, the folks that are I guess in my very close orbit on a day-to-day basis was, it was very encouraging.
I had the woman that orange pilled Donald Trump here in that chair about 2 weeks ago. Her name is Tracy Hoyos Lopez, and she was one of the people, along with the guy that runs the Bitcoin conference, that got him to Nashville and got Trump the check for $25 million, which was the biggest industry check he received. At least she's pretty sure about that. And she was just talking about the process, and then they ran the crypto ball in DC. And again, really told people that, hey, this is important, and if you don't vote for crypto, then we know that, and we're going to lobby against you. And she was pretty resolute when it came to the results they had, and she said it was amazing to see who showed up to that crypto ball, because there's a lot of parties happening, and a lot of congressmen and senators came there, and she's like, yeah, time for you to kiss the ring. That's what she said. And I was like, okay, I understand how you feel, because If you're in the US the last few years, I mean, like you said, you've been doing this for almost 10 years. It's frustrating that something you're so passionate about that you see as an instrument of freedom, which the US is the one country in the world that should idolize, being demonized, and also the SEC prosecuting and persecuting people. It must be a nice feeling to see that it's kind of finally being acknowledged.
Yeah, it's such a breath of fresh air, and we have now family and friends in my orbit, my partner's orbit, that also own a big chunk of Sphinx, and again, this is like real people's livelihoods you're playing with, right? And it's real people's freedoms, and it can't be overstated that the U.S. needs to become a leader to bring that innovation back there, right? So much of the innovation in this industry has gone overseas and gone abroad. So much of the talent has gone overseas and gone abroad. And again, as a globalist, I think that's partially a good thing. But the U.S. is, it's fallen behind in so many ways, and this is just another, check in that column that's, going to lead to undesirable outcomes 5, 10, 15 years into the future.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.